Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Well, happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Primetime Local News. Connor Chan and Abby St. John here to bring you all the good stuff that we have coming up on the show tonight, including with our Question of the Day segment. Later on, what outdoor activity have you not done but you would like to do?
Like I said before, technically this is an outdoor activity because it takes place outdoors, but I really want to go to Harry Potter World, try all their rides, go to their different exhibits, and it is outdoors, so it falls into that category.
Yes, I guess because you're walking around so much around the exhibit. Yeah. I think skydiving for me, personally.
That would be fun.
Although I got to get over the fear of heights, but we'll get over that later. But we'll have all this and more coming up later on in our show, but right now let's head over to Eric Bay, who is on location.
Thanks, guys. Well, today we've got a really cool couple of interviews coming up. Safari Jeff is in town here. He's at the Lloyd Mall. He'll be here all the way through till Saturday, showing off a few cool reptiles, and we will preview some of those reptiles and learn just a little bit more about nature, showing them off. We have a few guys from closer to home, and again, just getting all those great facts about some reptiles, which will be a fun event for the family too, if you want to bring them all out, and we do have a little bit more information on times coming up. But first, we'll go back into the studio where Abby has a look at your local news.
Warmer weather here in the Midwestern region means motorcycles are hitting the road once again. The Alberta RCMP is encouraging riders to practice safe driving habits when hopping on the bike this spring. The hope is to reduce the risk of collisions and ensure riders are geared in a safe manner during less than ideal spring road conditions.
There is definitely more debris from winter. Potholes can open up over winter, so you just have to be more aware, plan your turns a little better, and always scan further ahead to stay away from hazards.
Some of the tips the RCMP has for riders is to stay bright and visible to other vehicles, practice defensive driving methods, and wear gear that can provide protection. Falcon says other than the obvious helmet, there are other types of gears riders should wear.
Above the ankle boots is really important. Lots of people wear shoes and stuff like that, but you want above the ankle boots and some good solid gloves.
In 2018, the RCMP reported 12 deaths along with 232 injuries in motorcycle-involved collisions in Alberta. Today was McHappy Day around the country, and our Jasmine King headed down to McDonald's to see what it's all about.
McHappy Day is held to raise money for different charities around Canada, such as the Ronald McDonald House, as well as local charities. As this event has been going on for years, it has raised over $51 million and helped many different families.
Well, we started in 1977, and since that time, McDonald's has helped over 20,000 families away from home, as a home away from home, to stay with their child while they're attending a hospital. And that's why it's such a super important charity to get behind.
In support of McHappy Day, many volunteers came out to help the McDonald's as they could give back to the community while also doing it for another good cause.
Well, I think it's great to see people come out and support Ronald McDonald House. I think we all know someone at one time or another that have had to use the facility, and I think it's a great opportunity to give back. And just $1 is all they're asking for, a donation to put a happy heart on the wall.
Year after year, this event gives the chance for anyone to help families out with just a small contribution.
It's all about what McDonald's is about. It's about kids. It's about looking after people, and when you do have someone that's sick, especially a little one, it's so important to make sure that we can do whatever we can to get behind that family and help them in their greatest time of need.
Mayor Albers was behind the counter helping out today, something that is not like his normal routine.
It's a great time. It's totally different from my routine usually. Usually I'm not serving people food and calling out numbers, so it's a little different for me today.
Jasmine King, Primetime Local News.
Girls from Bishop Lloyd Middle School meet with grade 3 girls from Rendell Park to teach them the importance of friendship. In this week's Beyond the Classroom, I take a look at the impact this program has made. Every Friday, 4 ninth grade girls from Bishop Lloyd Middle School speak with a group of grade 3 girls about what it means to be a good friend and to help them with hard situations that they will face.
We have some activities that we have set up, and for one, for example, is the human knot, or we have like popsicle sticks, and we use those activities to teach them lessons about friendship, talking to one another, always being kind and listening to each other.
The girls believe that grade 3 is a very important time for girls when it comes to making friendships.
Personally, I think grade 3 girls, this is like their learning year, and they're starting to
create new friendships, and like they start like, that's when bullying starts, and you want them to be like connected with their peers.
I think if you start learning like certain values at a young age, you'll grow up to believe to be kind to others and be supportive with your friends.
The grade 3 girls are able to meet new girls that they may have not met before.
And it was nice because we got to pick certain girls from different classes. So some girls like didn't really know each other, so they may have like built new friendships, and they got to see what other girls went to their school and learn about other people's lives.
For this week's Beyond the Classroom, I'm Abby St. John.
Beyond the Classroom is brought to you by Lakeland College. Apply today to heavy oil power engineering or second-class power engineering programs at the Lloydminster campus. Lakeland College, leading learning since 1913.
Federal Crown prosecutors have stayed the charge of breach of trust against Vice Admiral Mark Norman today, avoiding a potentially damaging trial for the Liberal government. Norman had been suspended from his position as the head of the Navy for over 2 years, but now he says he plans to head back to work as soon as possible. CTV senior political correspondent Glenn McGregor has more from Ottawa.
After a 2-year ordeal, Mark Norman arrived for what he knew would be his last day in court.
Good, beautiful day. How do you feel? Good morning. Good to see you. Thank you very much.
Greeted by supporters, including current Liberal MP Andrew Leslie. Soon after, the Crown formally stayed the single charge against him because of new information provided by the defense.
Comparing it to investigative materials, we came to that conclusion that there's no reasonable prospect of conviction.
The Navy's top officer had been suspended from duty in 2017, then charged with breach of trust, alleged to have leaked cabinet information about the Liberal government's discussions of a shipbuilding contract. For the last 6 months, his lawyers have been fighting with the government to obtain records they say they needed to defend him. Some of those documents they finally obtained in March were enough to convince the Crown to drop the case.
One of the hardest parts on an emotional level, although it was inspiring, was to receive letters and donations from World War II veterans giving me $5 to help my legal fees. Just a sec.
Norman also received good news today about his legal fees, estimated to be more than $500,000.
I have authorized to pay for the piece because the decision that has been made today.
News that caught even him off guard.
Wow.
Yeah.
The case had been expected to go to trial in August, with former cabinet minister Scott Bryson likely to testify, a potential embarrassment for the Liberals just before the federal election campaign.
What we're seeing today is right out of the SNC-Lavalin playbook. Justin Trudeau has tried to destroy the reputation and career of someone who has stood up to him.
The government was quick to say the decision to drop the case was made by prosecutors alone.
There was no political interference from government, no political interference from the Department of Justice.
Norman's lawyer agreed, but noted the allegations against him came from the Prime Minister's own department.
These charges were referred by the PCO, the Privy Council office.
Now the Vice Admiral just wants his old job back.
And look, I'm ready to go back to work.
Mark Norman has not decided whether he'll sue the government for malicious prosecution. He says he has a story to tell and will be sharing it in coming days. Glenn McGregor, CTV News, Ottawa.
Now we're going to Eric Bay, who is on location today.
Thanks, guys. Well, today we are here at the Lloyd Mall, and Safari Jeff is joining me today. He has some reptile shows coming up here.
Yes.
So maybe first, can you just talk a little bit about and explain what your shows are about?
Yeah, well, it's great to be here, Eric. You know, it's our first time back to Lloyd Mall in almost 20 years. The Into the Wild program is host to a variety of amazing animals. Reptiles are my passion, the study of herpetology. And you know, when it comes to the success of the animal kingdom, it really lies in education. I've always referred to our show as being very edutaining. It's very educational and very entertaining at the same time. And of course, a free show for the community, so it's a great opportunity to come out and see some really unusual creatures that you'd rarely get a chance to see, such as this creature. This is Javier. Javier is a Cuban rock iguana. The rock iguana is actually one of the more endangered of the lizard kingdom. These guys are truly ancient in appearance, and today we see a decline of these animals animals, like on the islands of the Caribbean, due to the introduction of invasive species like cats and rats and goats and that sort of thing. So we talk about the important roles that the animals play in their natural habitat during the Into the Wild program, and it's also there's a few surprises in store for the audience as well, such as this creature. I've always been fascinated with snakes growing up in Canada, and this snake is actually a creature that you would encounter right here in Alberta, believe it or not. This is El Toro, an albino bull snake. The bull snake is native to southern Alberta, southern Saskatchewan, interior BC as well, but El Toro here is an albino, so very unusual. We share some very odd creatures at the Into the Wild program, so it's a great opportunity for families to get out, get some great photographs, and it's a program that the whole family can take part in, from the kids to the grandparents alike. It's got a multimedia aspect as well. So not only are you seeing the live animals, but you're seeing animals that we film in their natural habitats. Really exciting for everyone.
All right, perfect. Thank you. We'll have a little bit more coming back from here about what Safari Jeff has in store, but first we'll go back into the studio.
All right, thanks very much, Eric. Take a look at your current temperature right now. Still some cloudy skies and a bit of sunshine, still sitting at 11 degrees right now for the day, or our high right now. Wind picked up just a little bit, coming in from the east at 12 kilometers an hour. Some records for this time of year: 23 degrees, our warmest day back in 1988, while our coldest day was -6 back in 1996. So take a look at the satellite radar map here. A lot of activity that's going on out west there, maybe some precipitation a little bit out there, as it is going to come to us eventually heading into Friday, where we could see an over 60% chance of some showers there. But that's what it looks like currently right now further out west, as they're seeing a majority of that cloud coverage and even some precipitation out there. So some current temperatures right now for us: 12 degrees in Cold Lake and Edmonton and Red Deer, 15 for Rocky Mountain House and Jasper, 16 degrees in Whitecourt and Edson, 12 degrees also out in Meadow Lake, 10 for Prince Albert and Melfort, 12 in Saskatoon, and 11 for North Battleford. So let's take a look at a little more in-depth look to the regional temperatures right now. 2 degrees overnight with some showers for North Battleford, warming up to 15 degrees tomorrow for their daytime high with a sun and cloud mix there. 1 degree on overnight for Cold Lake with some clouds there, warming up to 15 tomorrow, but they're going to see some cloudy skies throughout the day tomorrow. 2 degrees overnight for us here in Lloydminster with some cloud coverage, and 16 degrees tomorrow. Similar temperatures expected for tomorrow as well that we had today. Take a look at the next 3 days heading into the Mother's Day weekend. 64% chance of some rain there, as I mentioned earlier, on Friday with their little sun cloud mix there with the low there of 7 degrees. So it'll be a nice warm morning, and then it'll get to the 17. We'll still get some wind close to 30 or maybe even over 30 kilometers an hour. And then on Saturday we should see a little bit more clear, but a high of 20 degrees. So we're in that 20 bomb area heading into the weekend of Mother's Day, of course. That's a first look at your weather. We'll have more primetime local news coming up after the break.
Welcome back. Well, as the weather smartens up, it's time for seeding season. Gerard Lampow gets out in the field for Plant 19.
Hard red spring wheat, from the hopper along the auger to the storage tank on the seeder. It's a busy time as Garth George and his family are at it for Plant 18.
We just had a little under 1,000 peas this year, which, I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but that's what we planned for.
The inputs have already been bought, so it's hard for producers to just flip-flop on a dime. Overall, they've got about 2,500 acres of wheat going in. The George family is staying the course even with the trade battle with China.
Well, I cut back a little bit, but not much because, like I said, I'm optimistic. So what I'm hoping is China's playing the game. We're not moving any canola, but they still have to feed a lot of people, and they do like their canola oil.
George will reduce his canola by 5%. The wheat is going into this 160-acre field.
So the seed's right here, and the fertilizer's there. Moisture's good. I wouldn't cry if it rained, but most farmers, that's what every farmer says. But, although there is places that are a lot worse, there's a lot of people that are wet and covered in snow. So I guess we're doing okay.
It's a most exciting time in the Midwest. Seeding season is underway, and Garth George tells me that back in the day, his grandpa Albert would take about 3 or 4 days to do a field this size. But now, with this modern equipment, we can do this in 6 hours.
We put the seed in a cart, and then from there it's rated or metered at a certain rate. so that it comes out across the land through the cedar, and then that is set at a certain depth with our cedar to the moisture level.
Against the backdrop of unsteady markets and trade disputes, seeding season is in full throttle as farmers like Garth George stay positive.
Everyone says the most time to make the best money, whether you're in any sort of market, is in volatile markets. When they're up and down all over the map, right? That's when you get your big moves. So,
Gerard Lampow, Primetime Local News.
Coming up tonight on Ag Life, Canadian beef is on the move in Japan. Plus, in License the Farm, we hear more on consumer challenges and why do you need a transition team to pass on your farm legacy, as well how roller compacted concrete is becoming a game changer at the feedlot. Those stories on the menu tonight at 7:30 on Ag Life. See you then.
That's all for Ag. Sports is next, but first, here's a look at your egg prices.
Every member of the City Centre Auto Body team has been through extensive training. We're constantly upgrading our team's education to reflect current collision repair technique.
After a 16-10 loss against Cold Lake, the Lloydminster Extreme look to bounce back this weekend home and away series. Josh Ryan has more on the team's mindset heading into their first game at the Civic in 2019.
Stingy defensive play is necessary to win championships, even for an offensive-minded team like the Extreme. And after allowing 16 goals last week, revisiting some of the basics was a must for the young squad.
Last game, we were pretty sure on guys, but we were getting beat one-on-one lots. So we just need to be tighter as a squad and work together.
First game of the season is to kind of to be expected with the new guys we got. So, you know, it's going to be a learning process, and you know, we're going to work on it every night. So it's going to be something that's going to be a staple for us. And
improving chemistry is one part. Encouraging more communication in general is another.
A couple minor things we just need to work on. That's what we're kind of going through tonight. Just help defense. There was a lot of times where we were getting beat one-on-one, and there was just nobody there to help.
It's lots of communication, just letting guys know where you're going and who you're taking.
This weekend's games aren't against perennial contenders, but should provide enough competition to work on weaknesses.
They're great teams to work on the things that we need to work on. So it'll, I think it'll be very beneficial. And you know, we're a team that definitely needs to get a little confidence, a little mojo going. And I think these are the teams to do it against.
And Murray's expectations of the offense are a good sign that what drove their success last season is still there.
All of our guys that should have scored. So anytime we can put up 10 goals and not win a game, it's, you know, it's definitely a defense's fault that we need to definitely shore up.
Josh Ryan, Primetime Local Sports.
Now we're going to Eric Bay, who is on location today.
Again, we are back here at the Lloyd Mall, and Safari Jeff joins me again. We've been talking a little bit about the different reptiles they do have here, and now we've got some new guys out here.
Yes.
So what do we have here?
Yeah, well, you know, turtles and tortoises are amazing animals. They're truly ancient, and there's a difference between the two, of course. I'm holding Fang. He's an alligator snapping turtle. The alligator snapper is one of the world's largest freshwater turtles. They can grow to weigh in at over 300 pounds. Amazing. Now, these guys are very skilled fishermen. Inside of these impressive jaws, you may notice a little red worm-like appendage, a piece of skin that wiggles back and forth to lure fish and other aquatic animals inside of its mouth. So a very skilled fisherman and a very patient hunter. This is actually a typical posture for the turtle, and they'll sit like this with their mouths open for days at a time, waiting for a meal. Amazing. Now, tortoises are a little different. Tortoises live life, or have adapted to life, on dry land, and just below us here is Lloyd. Yes, his name is Lloyd. Lloyd is an African spurred tortoise. tortoise. And the spurred tortoise is one of the world's largest of mainland tortoises. They too can grow to weigh in at over 200 pounds. And in this case, the desert tortoise is an animal that is well designed for life in a hot, dry environment. Lloyd here would never swim. He wouldn't drink any water. In fact, they get all of the water intake from the moisture in the grasses and the vegetation that they eat. It's amazing how much this guy can eat every day. And of course, after our program every day, the kids get quite a kick out of seeing Lloyd have his lunch. So, you know, it's a very natural setting here at the End of the Wild program at Lloyd Mall. And when you come out and see the animals naturally doing what they do best, or just, you know, relaxed, be it sitting on a rock or a log in a tree out in the open, it gives families a great opportunity to get up close and personal and have a really memorable moment, a great experience.
All right, perfect. Thank you for showing these off once again. We'll have a little bit more coming back from here at the Lloyd Mall, but first we'll go back into the studio.
All right, thanks very much, Eric. Taking a look at some other current temperatures right now. 11 degrees still for us here in Lloydminster, 13 in Vermilion and Vegreville and St. Paul, 12 degrees up in Lac La Biche, Cold Lake, 11 in Bonnyville and Marwayne, 12 also out in Edmonton, 12 in Wainwright, Provost and Macleod sitting at 14 and 15 respectively, 11 degrees in Maidstone and North Battleford, 12 for St. Walburg, 13 for Meadow Lake, and 10 in both Isle La Crosse and Green Lake. Some other temperatures in Saskatchewan, 12 degrees in Loloche and Buffalo Narrows, 9 for La Ronge, 8 degrees out in Wollaston Lake, South End, and Flin Flon, 12 also out in Stony Rapids as well, 16 for Fort McMurray and Slave Lake, 19 out in Peace River and Grand Prairie there, 20 also out in High Level as well, 11 degrees in Fort Chipewyan as well. Down in southern Alberta as well, same kind of temperatures we're experiencing here. 15 for Medicine Hat, 13 degrees, for Lethbridge, 10 for Calgary, 12 for Coronation, and 9 degrees out in Banff, 10 for Swift Current, 11 in Moose Jaw and Regina, 10 also out in Yorkton, 12 in Estevan, and 16 degrees in Kindersley. Now, as we take a look at the regional temperatures for tomorrow, we're going to be experiencing, in terms of cloudiness, kind of the same stuff that we had today, a bit of sun and clouds. So we'll have a sunny morning, then it'll get cloudier as the day progresses on. We are expecting a very nice weekend, of course, because it is Mother's Day weekend. So take a look at temperatures for tomorrow, though. 16 degrees is our daytime high here. Marwayne and Bonnyville, Cold Lake, Pierceland sitting at 15 degrees, 18 degrees in Lac La Biche, 16 degrees in St. Paul, 14 out in St. Walburg, 15 for Green Lake and Meadow Lake, as well as in Maidstone and North Battleford, 17 tomorrow for both Provost and Macleod, 16 degrees in Wainwright, 19 out in Vegreville, 18 degrees in Edmonton tomorrow as well. Take a look at the school day forecast for tomorrow. Like I said, it's going to be a bit of a sunnier start to the day there. 8 a.m. it's 6 degrees there with some sun and a few clouds. Then it'll get more cloudier heading into recess at 9 degrees there. Lunchtime sitting at 12 degrees where more clouds will start to roll in, and then by home time at the high of 15 there, we could see a majority of the day being cloud covered. So here's the next 7-day forecast for you. 64% chance we could see some rain for Friday. That's 17 the daytime high, though, and a low of 7 with winds over 30 kilometers an hour. Heading into the Mother's Day weekend, very nice weather is expected. Mostly sunny skies and a few clouds. High of 20 on Saturday and a high of 21 on Sunday. 16 degrees on Monday with a cloud coverage and a sun mix there. 14 degrees on Tuesday where the majority of it will be sunshine there, and 16 degrees on Wednesday where it will be majority cloudy. That's a look at your 7-day forecast. We'll have more primetime local news coming up after the break.
Now we're going to Eric Bay, who is on location today.
Back here once again at the Lloyd Mall, and now Safari Shannon actually joins me. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Eric. Very nice to meet you.
Yes, perfect. And we're holding a couple of books here because it's not all just about the show for learning. So can you maybe just talk a little bit about your guys' books?
Yes, well, Safari Jeff and I write and self-publish a best-selling children's book series entitled The Great Green Adventure. And the message and the purpose behind the books is to encourage younger people to share the information that they know about their environments and animals. In the program and in the book, we go to all different locations, and the book is based on the continent, so 7 in total. We just released our 3rd book in the series, Antarctica, and of course as we journey in this hot air balloon with Dr. Evergreen, our comical character, funny guy, who also appears in our multimedia show during the Into the Wild program, we talk about balances in natures, the important animals, the roles that they play in their environments. It's very educational, but a lot of fun. There is laughs to have, and so of course you can purchase the books here during our shows at Lloyd Mall, and we're very grateful for the support.
And obviously, it just adds a little bit of different dynamic to learning this in the show. How important is it to get kids to, I guess, kind of learn about nature and learn about these animals?
Well, great question, Eric, because the children are the future. The more that the children understand and appreciate their environments and the animals, the more that they will want to protect them and conserve them. So it is really the main focus of the program is to get people excited about nature, excited about animals, wanting them to be involved, even if it's in your own backyard. It doesn't have to be exotic animals and traveling all over the world. It could be just taking care of your environment in your own hometown, like recycling and being a responsible person for the planet.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. We'll have a little bit more coming back from the Lloyd Mall with Safari and Jeff and Shannon about their shows they do have coming up here this week. But first, we'll go back into the studio.
All right, so with the weather being nicer outside, there's a lot more opportunities to do outdoor activities. So we asked on Facebook today, what's one outdoor activity that you haven't done but would like to do? Some of the comments, they ranged from skydiving. Yeah. That's one I think I would like to get on board with. Zip lining, I have done that out in Dominican.
I have not done zip lining. I don't know if I would, but it's always something to think about.
I mean, it's just really, you're going down, you're in a controlled harness, you're going fast.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's still fun. Hot air balloon rides are actually something that I would love to do. Yeah,
that would be so pretty.
If you're afraid of heights, that's probably not the best activity.
Probably should rethink what you want to do, but that would be definitely a really fun activity.
It might be one of those ideas where you say, hey, it might be fun, and then you get probably like a couple thousand feet in the air and you realize that, no, it's not fun.
Let's go down, let's go down.
Interesting one was fly fishing as well. I've only been fishing once in my life here.
I've never been fishing, so I guess I can add that to the list, but
it's fair enough. Maybe. It's just a lot of patience.
I don't have any patience. See, that's where the big thing is. I would like to try it, but I wouldn't be able to handle waiting.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, I'm no fisherman. I'm not really an outdoorsman, so I probably would not succeed very well. But it's time to talk about pets because we do love our pets here. It's time for the Pet of the Day segment. So this is Lily.
Adorable.
We've had a lot of Lilies this week.
I love her short little ears.
I know, very cute. Probably just waiting for something. This is Chinook.
Oh, probably waiting for a treat.
Yeah, that's why he's so up close in your face there.
Adorable.
Next up, we have Blade, caught up in the Christmas lights.
Getting a mess up in the Christmas lights.
Cats and Christmas, you know?
Yeah.
Next, we have Toby.
Adorable. Just
very adorable.
Perched on his toy.
And last but not least, this is Sprite.
Love the paws. Makes it so cute.
He's very adorable. Well, if your pet was shown on today, you're automatically entered to win a Lloydminster Pet Pad gift card.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
All right, I'm very pleased to be joined with Curtis Anderson, the founder and creator of the Courage Canada Trail Ride, which is coming up very, very soon. So Curtis, thank you very much for coming down and talking to us today.
Thank you for having me on today.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your background. We all know kind of, what happened to you many years ago, but just for those that may not know about what happened to you, just give us a little summary of what happened.
Well, on June 27th, 2002, I was riding bulls at the Panuka Stampede and I lost my balance and my head hit the bull's head twice, so I've learned how to walk, talk, and regain the use of my left arm again.
So now, and then you started the Courage Canada Trail Ride. What made you want to start something up like that, though?
The Courage Canada Trail Ride was started in 2004 to put brain injury on the map and give survivors a chance to be around horses in the sunshine, an opportunity they don't have every day.
And what's kind of entails in the ride? So it's it is a trail ride, so there's a bit of a path you guys go on. I guess, what has it been like over the past couple of years? How's it differ from previous years?
Well, we go on the same trail, but there's a lot more interest, and the trail has changed a bit.
Yeah. So what kind of people come out? Is it people that are also brain injury survivors as well, or just anybody that wants to come out and support the cause that you're raising the money for?
Well, anybody can come out and support the cause, but we do have survivors from 4 different brain injury centers that come out and ride the wagons.
Where are those 4 other ones usually come from? Where are some people that you've seen gathered through?
Well, here from Lavis and Lloydminster, Focus in Vermilion, Ballard and Vegreville, and the Halbert Johnson Center for Brain Injury in Ponoka.
And where does all that money eventually go to?
Well, that money gets split up between the brain injury centers and also the Canadian Pro Sports Medicine team. We help them out also.
So now I guess just let's talk about you know, the importance of having an event like this. I know we kind of touched on it earlier, but I guess if we can go a little more in depth to, you know, why it's good to maybe have this kind of event, you know, every year, the annual event, to do this kind of trail ride for, to raise money for that cause.
Well, the biggest thing about the trail ride, it raised awareness to a lot more people, and maybe people will take a brain injury or concussion a lot more serious.
And I guess just also, just before we're kind of ending things here, when is it usually in? It's in May, correct?
It's always the last Saturday in May every year.
And is there any charge for people to come down and ride?
It's 35 days for the ride, and supper is included as well.
So you talked about the supper. There might be any extra kind of incentives that come with like the evening parts. Is there any kind of thing you can do after the trail ride that people can expect?
Well, there's the supper, and then there's the silent live auction. I'll do my cowboy poetry and my speech, and then there'll be a dance with Laura Hayes as the entertainment.
And how have you seen the event grow over the years? Because you've been doing it for how many years now?
This will be our 16th.
16th. Wow, that's really amazing. And how have you seen it from the very first one up until now? How much of a big, huge growth have you seen in the event?
Well, the first one we wrote Elk Island Park, and you know there's half a dozen one-day riders, 12 the next, and last year we had 53 riders and 6 wagons and 34 on the wagons and over 200 a supper.
Wow, that's really amazing. Well, Curtis, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Last Saturday of May, if you want to go out and do the Courage Canada Trail Ride, you're more than welcome to go do so.
Thanks for having me on to raise awareness.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Justin Marshall from Cool 101.3 with a look at what's happening around Bonnyville and Cold Lake for Boom 95.3 and Cool 101.3. Well, next Tuesday, it's the Bonnyville Health Auxiliary, the strawberry tea that they host. And it's at the Bonnyville Hospital here in the cafeteria that's right behind us. And I caught up with the organizer, Estelle Deschênes. Estelle, tell us about the tea.
The strawberry tea has been happening for well over 20 plus years. It's annual. It's usually held around Mother's Day. We encourage all the community at large to bring their moms to celebrate Mother's Day and strawberry tea, which is very special because we serve tea in the china cups and coffee. And we serve them lovely angel food cake with strawberries and real whipped cream. Yum, yum, yum.
Estelle, what does the money raised for the strawberry tea on May 14th from 1 to 4, what's it go to?
The money that we get from the strawberry tea is a fundraiser to help our hospital buy equipment so that our doctors can have the equipment they need, because it's forever changing and there's always new needs.
And what's some of the equipment that you've bought?
We have bought beds for the palliative room. We've bought special equipment for delivering babies, the special chairs, and it's just getting newer and high tech. They need new equipment nonstop. We just every month we get requisitions from the hospital to help out in buying equipment for the hospital.
Well, Estelle, thanks for joining us. And if you have an event you would like to feature on what's happening, email me, jmarshall@stingray.com.
Furniture supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Today I am joined here by 3 lovely ladies to talk about Handbags for Hope. It was created by these 2 grade 11 students from Holy Rosary, Madison and Amber, and they are partnered with the Interval Home. So I will just pass it on to you. What made you decide to start this?
Well, Madison and I felt that it was important to show that we want to give back to our community, especially as we've lived in Lloydminster most of our lives. So we thought that this might be a good way to help out the women of Lloydminster.
And so what is Handbags for Hope?
So our goal was to deliver around 10 to 15 purses to the shelter by Mother's Day this Sunday. So we've been asking the community to donate handbags and purses as well as small items to be filled that could be put in a women's handbag. And we've completely reached our goal, and the community is still giving and donating to us.
And what was your initial goal to start out with?
10 to 15 bags, and we've actually got about 70 at this point.
And see, this is your first time doing this. Did you expect to have such a large community outreach?
No, we are so grateful for the community and the local businesses. They've been supporting us so much. It's been crazy.
Yeah.
And why did you decide to partner with the Interval Home?
Do you want? Yeah. Okay. So I volunteer at the Interval store on Saturdays. And then we also can relate to the women there because we're women ourselves. So yeah, we were like, where can we donate that we can also support and relate to? And we thought the strong women at the shelter.
And I guess being a part of the shelter, when these girls approached you with this idea, what was going through your head about it?
It's really exciting. Yeah, I've known Madison and Amber for a while now, and when the idea came about, it was a real honor, and it's so nice to see young women wanting to give back to women in the community that are vulnerable and are in need, and for having such inspiring youth among us that want to give back and contribute is fabulous, and it's really heartwarming to see, and it's really nice also for the women that do come to the Interval Home to feel that value, and for them to get a gift like a handbag filled with personal items that of course they're going to need and will use is really special.
And is this something that you would look at doing again next year or in the future?
Yeah, we for sure want to next year with how much the community has been giving back to us already. So
yeah, we definitely know we have the support with us now. Yeah.
And if anyone wants to donate, you guys are still accepting donations till Mother's Day. How can they get in contact with you, or where do they drop off the handbags?
Well, they can always drop off the handbags at the Interval Home. Also, places like Dawn Interiors is taking donations and stuff. So,
yeah.
And they have up until Sunday to just bring in any handbags or stuff to go into handbags?
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, even after we'll accept them for sure, because the Interval Home will put them aside for the women who come after Mother's Day to be given them. So,
okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, perfect. If you would like to donate a handbag to help support Handbags for Hope, you can do so before Mother's Day, after Mother's Day, whenever. So thank you for coming in and explaining this amazing charity event.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're back here once again at the Lloyd Mall. We're just across from the Foot Locker. Safari Jeff is holding his Into the Wild reptile shows. Those are going to be on throughout the week here. Again, all the way through until Sunday. They got 2 shows a day. And again, those are a couple different times too. So if you maybe can't make the early ones, you can go check out the late ones as well. Again, tons of different interactive experiences for the family to enjoy. They do have a bull snake, which is actually native to those southern parts of Alberta. So kind of cool to see something that is actually in our own backyard. They also do have a couple of different iguanas and some more endangered species as well, something a little rarer. Again, some tortoises and an alligator snapping turtle. They also have a few different books if you are looking for a little bit more to come out and learn about those reptiles. So that's all from us here tonight. We're going to go back into the studio where Abby and Connor will wrap up the end of tonight's news.
All right, thanks very much, Eric. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast one last time. Here's 16 degrees tomorrow for us with that sun and cloud mix, pretty similar to what we experienced today. 17 degrees on Friday with a 64% chance of some rain there, with winds reaching close to 30 kilometers an hour, maybe even more. And then, of course, heading into Mother's Day weekend, we're experiencing some very nice weather, going to experience some nice weather, rather. 20 degrees on Saturday and 21 degrees on Sunday, 16 degrees on Monday, 14 on Tuesday, and 16 degrees on Wednesday with some cloud coverage there. It's going to be a great weekend just for Mother's Day. Of course, we may have something. We got a little something planned for Friday, which will be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. We can't really say much, but
yeah,
teasing
it's going to be a good time.
Mum's the word, I guess.
Yes,
Mum
yeah,
is
definitely.
That's the old saying that those people say. But
yeah.
that's going to do it for us this evening. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have yourselves a great night.